The first thing I remember about the alien prison was the smell. Not the metallic tang of blood, not the cold sterility of a laboratory. No, this was something stranger. A dry, electric scent, like dust burned by invisible lightning. It clung to the air, to our skin, to the inside of our lungs. Every breath tasted like a storm waiting to happen. I was lying on a slab of black stone when I woke. Chains of translucent energy wrapped around my wrists and ankles, humming softly. Above me stretched a ceiling that curved like the inside of a giant skull, carved with symbols that pulsed faintly in shifting colors. The room was filled with others, humans, dozens of us, some crying, some staring blankly, some whispering prayers to gods they weren't sure still listened. We had been taken from Earth only hours before. The invasion had come without warning, ships appearing like fractures in the sky, soldiers descending in streaks of violet light. No bombs, no explosions. Just beams that froze movement and lifted us helplessly from our homes, streets, and cities. No explanation. No demands. Just capture. A man beside me whispered, "They're going to dissect us." A woman further down the row murmured, "No, they'll eat us." Nobody laughed. Nobody argued. Fear had swallowed reason whole. I tried to move, but the energy chains tightened. A faint vibration passed through them, almost like a warning. "Stay still." A door opened with a soundless ripple. They entered. The aliens were tall, easily 7 feet, encased in segmented armor that gleamed like dark crystal. Their faces were hidden behind smooth helmets shaped like elongated skulls, with slits of burning silver where eyes should be. Each carried a long spear that pulsed with contained starlight. The room fell silent. One of them stepped forward. It raised its spear and tapped it against the floor once. A wave of invisible force rolled through us. Every human jerked upright, lifted slightly off the slabs. Panic surged. Screams erupted. Some tried to fight, thrashing against their bonds, but the chains only glowed brighter. The alien spoke. Its voice wasn't sound. It arrived directly inside our minds. Cold. Clear. Inhuman. "You are prisoners of the Valkar Dominion. You have been chosen. Do not resist. Resistance is waste." Chosen for what? Experiments? Slavery? Execution? A man at the far end of the row shouted, "We're not your slaves." Instantly, the spear of a nearby guard flashed. A bolt of energy struck the man's chest. He convulsed once, then went limp. The smell of burned flesh filled the chamber. No one spoke after that. The guards moved along the line, scanning each of us with glowing crystals embedded in their gauntlets. When they reached me, I felt a strange warmth pass through my skull, like fingers rifling through my thoughts. I wanted to scream, to shove them out, but I was helpless. The guard paused. It lingered longer on me than the others. Then it moved on. I didn't know whether to feel relieved or terrified. Hours, or maybe days, passed in the prison. Time blurred. We were fed tasteless nutrient paste and given water that shimmered faintly blue. No one explained why we were there. Guards came and went. Occasionally, prisoners were taken away through the rippling doors. None returned. We began counting. Day 1, 30 humans. Day 3, 24. Day 5, 19. By day 7, only 13 of us remained. That was the day the alien warrior arrived. He was different from the others. His armor was darker, edged with silver lines that formed intricate symbols across his chest and shoulders. His helmet bore a crest shaped like curved horns, giving him the silhouette of some ancient demon. Yet there was something about his movements, controlled, deliberate, that suggested intelligence beyond simple soldiering. The guards flanking him stood rigid, almost reverent. The horned warrior walked down the row of prisoners slowly, studying each of us. His silver gaze lingered, searching. When he reached me, he stopped. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then he raised a hand and touched the air above my forehead. The energy chains around me flickered. A whisper entered my mind. But unlike the cold, harsh voice of the others, this one was soft. "You are not afraid of me." I swallowed. My voice felt tiny. "I'm terrified." A pause. Fear and defiance often coexist. "I sensed your thoughts during the scan. You wonder. You analyze. You do not surrender." I stared at him. "Are you reading my mind right now?"
Partially.
But I choose not to intrude further. Consent is respected. That stunned me more than anything else since my capture. Before I could respond, the guards behind him shifted uneasily. One tapped his spear sharply on the floor, as if reminding the warrior of something. The horned alien turned away, but as he did, his voice brushed my mind once more. "Do not lose hope, human. You were not taken for death." Then he was gone. That night, none of us slept. "Did he talk to you?" A woman whispered from 2 slabs away. I hesitated. "Yes." "What did he say?" I debated telling the truth. But hope was dangerous. It could save people, or destroy them. He said, "We weren't taken to die." Murmurs rippled through the prisoners. Some scoffed. Others clung to the words like a lifeline. A middle-aged man named Elias leaned closer. "Then why are we here?" I shook my head. I don't know. But deep inside, I knew one thing. The horned warrior was different. And somehow, he had chosen to speak to me. The next day, the doors opened again. This time, a platform descended from the ceiling, made of swirling light. A guard stepped forward and pointed at 4 prisoners. "Selected," the voice announced in our minds. The chosen ones cried out, begged, cursed. But they were lifted onto the platform and carried upward through a tunnel of light. One of them was Elias. As he disappeared, he locked eyes with me. No words, just a silent plea. "Don't forget us." I promised myself I wouldn't. Later, when the chamber was quiet, a soft shimmer passed through the walls. The horned warrior stepped through alone. The guards were gone. For the first time since my capture, I was alone with an alien. He approached and waved his hand. My chains dissolved. I dropped onto the stone floor, numb legs trembling. "Why?" I asked, my voice hoarse. His helmet shifted, retracting smoothly. Beneath it was a face unlike anything I'd imagined. His skin was a deep midnight blue, marked with faint silver veins that pulsed softly, like constellations. His eyes were large and luminous, not silver now, but a warm amber. His features were sharp but strangely noble. "I am Commander Valor," he said aloud. His voice was rich, resonant, and undeniably real, not in my head. "Why free me?" I repeated. Valor studied me carefully. "Because you deserve the truth." He gestured, and the wall beside us transformed into a projection of stars. Countless systems glowed in the void. "The Valkar Dominion spans thousands of worlds," he said. "We are at war with something you cannot yet comprehend." "What kind of war?" I asked. "A war for survival." The projection shifted. A darkness spread across the stars, swallowing systems whole. Shadows writhed within it, shapes that moved wrong, twisting reality itself. "The Devourers," Valor said quietly. "They consume civilizations.
Minds.
Souls. Entire realities." I shivered. "We fight them," he continued, "but we're losing. Our soldiers die faster than they can be born. Our minds fracture under the Devourer's influence. He turned to me. And humans are resistant. I blinked. What? Your species, Valor said, has something unique. A mental architecture that resists devourer corruption. We captured humans not as prisoners of cruelty, but as potential allies. My stomach churned. Then why the chains? Why kill that man? Why treat us like livestock? Valor's expression darkened. The Dominion's rulers believe fear breeds obedience. They see you as tools. I disagree. You're telling me, I said slowly, that we were kidnapped to be used in your war. Yes. I laughed bitterly. Some alliance. Valor inclined his head. That is why I came to you. Because I intend to change this. And how exactly do you plan to do that? I asked. He stepped closer. His eyes glowed brighter. I will free you, he whispered. And I will ask for something in return. My breath caught. What? Help me overthrow those who rule my people. Help me change the Dominion. And in exchange, humanity will never again be hunted or enslaved. We will stand as equals. The words hung between us, heavy and unbelievable. You're asking me, I said slowly, a prisoner from Earth, to help start a revolution in an alien empire. Valor's lips curved in what might have been a faint smile. Yes. That night, Valor smuggled me through hidden corridors. We passed rooms filled with strange technology, glowing crystals and other prisoners, humans and alien species alike. Some stared with hollow eyes. Others whispered faintly as we passed. Not all of us agree with the Dominion's methods, Valor said. There is a faction, soldiers, scientists, even nobles, who believe in coexistence. But we lack a symbol, a spark. I looked at him incredulously. You think that spark is me? He stopped walking. No, he said. The spark is truth. And you will help me show it. He led me to a chamber filled with star maps and tactical displays. Several aliens stood waiting, each armored like Valor, but with their helmets removed. They studied me curiously, warily. Valor addressed them. This is the human. I told you of her mind. One of them stepped forward, a female with silver eyes. If humans are the key to resisting the Devourers, we need their cooperation, not their chains. Another snorted. The High Dominion Council will never accept that. Then we will force them, Valor said. They turned to me. I suddenly realized the weight of what I had stumbled into. What do you want from me? I asked quietly. Valor stepped closer again. Speak to your people. Show them the truth. Show them that they are not helpless cattle, but the hope of two civilizations. And when the moment comes, stand beside me before the council. I swallowed. If I refused, I would return to chains. Maybe death. Maybe worse. If I agreed, I might save humanity. Or doom it. I thought of Elias being taken away. Of the man killed for speaking out. Of Earth, unaware and unprepared for any of this. I looked into Valor's glowing eyes. I'll do it, I said. The next days blurred into motion. Valor's faction freed more prisoners in secret. We moved through hidden tunnels, gathering humans, explaining the truth. Some reacted with disbelief, others with rage, a few with awe. We're not just prisoners, I told them. We're leverage. We're the reason they came. Slowly, something changed. The hopelessness that had haunted the prisoners began to lift. Fear remained, but now it had direction, purpose. When the Dominion Council summoned Valor to present his findings, he insisted I accompany him. We entered a colossal chamber of obsidian and starlight. 12 towering figures sat upon floating thrones, their armor radiant, their eyes blazing like suns. Valor knelt. I did not. Gasps echoed through the chamber. One of the council spoke, its voice splitting my thoughts. Why does the human stand? Because she is not property, Valor said. She is an ally. Or she could be if we abandon barbarism. Another council member hissed. You defy tradition. I defy extinction, Valor replied. He turned to me. All eyes followed. My heart hammered, but I raised my chin. You took us from our world, I said. You chained us.
You killed one of us for speaking.
And now you ask for our help in your war. You don't deserve it. But we can choose to give it if you change. If you treat us as equals. Silence followed. Then laughter, cold and cruel, from one of the council. Humans will obey or be discarded. Valor's hand moved. In a flash, his spear ignited with radiant energy. His faction stepped forward, weapons ready. Across the chamber, guards raised theirs in response. For a heartbeat, war balanced on a knife's edge. Then Valor whispered, barely audible.
Now.
All around the chamber, hidden doors burst open. Freed prisoners, humans and alien dissenters, poured in, armed with stolen spears and burning resolve. The council realized, too late, that their empire had already begun to fracture. The battle that followed would echo across history. When it ended, the thrones were shattered, the old rulers gone, and a new alliance stood trembling in the aftermath. Months later, I stood beside Valor on the bridge of a starship headed for Earth. Below us, stars stretched endlessly. You could stay, Valor said softly. Help build the new dominion. I smiled faintly. Maybe one day. But my people deserve to hear the truth from me first. He inclined his head respectfully. Then he leaned closer, his voice dropping to a whisper that sent shivers through me. You were never just a prisoner, he said. You were the beginning of a future I once believed impossible. I looked out at the stars. Once, we had been prisoners. Now we were something else entirely. Partners in a war for existence. And the universe would never be the same again.